Yo, what is up, guys? So today we're going to be actually showcasing off a deck that I didn't think I'd be talking about in 2020, and that is Gem Knights in 2020. We even got stopped by an Ash Blossom, but it's no match. A lot of times this deck can definitely play through one hand trap, sometimes two, depending on how lucky you are. But for the most part, this deck is absolutely insane with additions like the Cross Sheep, and of course the new Master Rule is only going to make this deck a lot better, considering you get that additional summon and you don't have to have the Link Zones. But nonetheless, this deck is getting much better with the mix-up of Adamatia. You're going to have access to one of the best first-turn Yu-Gi-Oh boards that you can actually make just in the game. It almost locks down your opponent completely. We even showcase off duels. Well, this one over here, the guy had a hand trap, but we'll also show off what happens when they have evenly super poly. The deck is still insanely good. Look at this end turn after a negation. We're talking multiple negations with the Appaloosa. We got a Barkion and a Naturibi, so no more impermanent stuff, and of course your effects. And then it did Gearsu to back it up. This is again one of the strongest Yu-Gi-Oh boards that you can make turn one, in just a very consistent way too, because obviously the Gem Knights archetype is actually very consistent. But nonetheless, this is pretty much just a GG no re for this guy. But I want to show you guys what happens when you go ahead and have your opponent maybe open up with something like an evenly matched. Although you'd say, oh, you can negate with Barkion. Well, just wait and see what happens here in this duel. So I'll go ahead and see Rescue Rabbit and get the double effects of the summons. But you can also activate Warrior card, the one that brings out a vanilla, so it's pretty much the same as, let's say, a Rescue Rabbit in the first place. And on top of that, with Block Dragon, you have a lot of recovery, as you guys will see in these duels. But this is a really cool Gem Knight deck for sure, because again, when's the last time you saw someone actually play the Gem Knight cards? Nowadays, it's literally just Brilliant Fusion for the most part, because that's an insanely good card. And then we're also going to see, of course, the Christian Hal. I'm just going to call him Hulk for short. Nonetheless, every time I see this card, I want to call it Needle Fiber. But anyways, we've got Naturia Beast and Dingirsu, and obviously this can go into another card. However, we see Evenly Match activated, and he's going to go ahead and opt to keep the Naturia Beast over here. And then he's going to go ahead and pass, obviously, because that, well, Evenly has that effect where you got to do it during the battle phase. But nonetheless, we still happen to be able to come back after losing out on a board completely. And I'll show you guys another duel. Someone has Super Poly here. But nonetheless, we'll pretty much be able to recover. And that also really just comes down to Block Dragon be such an insane card with the effect where you get to add up to 3 rock monsters from your deck to your hand whose total levels equals 8. Which gives you instant recovery. I mean, he got evenly matched, lost his entire board, and we're still going to be coming back. There is one downside with one of the cards where it's like it can't attack, but nonetheless, it doesn't matter here for the most part. But let's go ahead and check out another duel versus Raid Raptors. And once again, he's going to have another hand trap over here. I like this guy's username, Ask Ketchup, from, of course, Pokemon. So he's going to go ahead and get an expected die. One of them gets stopped over here. And he's going to go ahead and go for the Spider, going for the other plays. Go for Curios. And banish some cards, of course. Block Dragon being the awesome card that it is, able to instantly add up to 3 rock-type monsters from your deck to your hand. That's a really just insane effect, being able to just go ahead and search out like any 3 rock monsters, which pretty much is the entire deck, minus the fusion cards. But nonetheless, we're going to go ahead and pay some life points. We're going to go ahead and bring out another fusion. But keep in mind, when you activate his effect, oh gosh, the thing is going too fast. The monster can declare an attack this turn. Not that it really matters too much, because you're going to be making it pretty much game anyways. So I'm going to go ahead and see the Crystal Rose activate its effect, banish fusion monster, and then you get to special summon this card in defense position. Excellent stuff indeed, giving you extra stepping stones. And then once again, we're making that insane board, but this time it's even better here. So we also got Zirconia, so extra damage up on the board in addition to the insane board. I would say if you make these 4 cards, it's really difficult for most decks to do anything unless, of course, they have Winged Dragon of Raw Sphere mode. And even then, they still happen to have a very powerful monster and you do lose out on your normal summon. But at this point, it doesn't really matter. It's game over anyways at this point. Really good stuff indeed, so that's going to go ahead and be game over here, because Zirconia got a pretty decent amount of attack. But this last one over here, I won't spoil it, but we'll see what happens against Super Poly, because this duel is absolutely insane. I think that this deck It's a relatively cheap deck too, minus of course the extra deck, which I think most of you guys might have already. But Gem Knights, for the most part, I haven't seen them go up insane in price recently. And Block Dragon again just makes them better. I know Cross Shape is kind of a short print for the most part. Yeah, like I said, I want to say this is pretty cheap. Obviously, you need the Adamatia, but there's nothing in this that's super expensive. Minus again what's in the extra deck. So the Needle Fiber going to be coming out, and then Triby. So once again, strong turn 1 board, but this time we're going to answer against, again, a hand trap plus the guy having Super Poly. Because a lot of times you make these turn 1 boards that are like, you know, almost unbeatable, but they draw that 1 card. And this time he happens to go for Mudrag, getting rid of not only the Beast, but also the Barkion. The guy is playing the Ancient Warriors, aka the Senkas. They've changed the name here for the TCG, but this card's not going to be doing anything because this card's going to stop it. Nonetheless, Block Dragon coming out once again. He's going to go attack, try to use the out effect, but Bow of the Goddess is going to go ahead and say no to that. And getting some damage over here with all of those. And we still have 1 extra negation with the Bow of the Goddess here. And the Guan Yun's going to go ahead and activate. If your opponent controls a monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. And then you can only use this effect where your opponent controls more monsters than you do. You can target 1 and destroy it. And he's also got the Sun View Alliance over here. So if you control Ancient Warrior monsters with 2 more different attributes, you can declare 1 and your opponent can't activate any of those. But remember, the Block Dragon has that ability to go ahead and re-add back your cards. You can go ahead and search out Top Decks the Rescue Rabbit over here. I'm going to go ahead and get that effect for the Gem Knight, Seraph Knight. I think the better play over here might have been to go for the 5k attack here. Where is it? 26. Yeah, that would have been 2,400 points, which might have been an option here if you wanted to go for that. I believe you could do that, right? Unless there's one where it's like if your opponent attacks. This one's going to attack twice. But he's going to also Dingirsu send one to the graveyard, and then he's going to go ahead and not be able to attack, I believe, during one of the effects over here. I know one of them brings him out. This one, it can't attack directly this turn. But nonetheless, he's going to go ahead and Utopia. And that's unfortunate for him, man. I'm not sure if it was disrespect or if there's one of the cards that does negate the ability to go to your battle phase. But even though that one was a surprise ending, I didn't want to spoil it for you guys. But I still think that it was a really good showcase of the archetype and how much recovery the deck potentially does have. But again, maybe Utopia would have been just a better option. But there was no room in here. But I want to give you guys a deck profile, because I think it is still a very powerful deck at the end of the day. Again, you make these 3 cards. Well, honestly, you don't even need the Dingirsu, because this is with 3 negates, most decks will at least have 1 spell. Barkion is really just there for the impermanence, but nonetheless, if you make this, you're really set up to go in the off chance that they summon something that can actually attack over your monsters. You can go ahead and protect them. But really good deck over here. But anyways, let's go ahead and hop right into the deck profile. And shoutouts once again to my homie AzneyesWhitedragon, who's always building the most innovative decks here. But we also got to give a shout out to Distant Coder, because he actually had this deck featured at a YCS, and my boy AzneyesWhitedragon took some of the cards from his build over here. Obviously, Adamatia not out yet, but nonetheless, let's go ahead and hop right into the deck profile. You want to give a shout out to Distant Coder. But anyways, 3 copies of Garnet, 3 copies of the Sapphire. Don't worry that you have vanillas in here. You also not only have Rescue Rabbit, but you have the Unexpected Die, which basically just makes it so you instantly have the effect of Rescue Rabbit. It's just getting those 2 Gem Knights early on is really key. Obviously going for the Phantom Core, excellent card. Just pay 1,000 life points and then you go ahead and fusion summon that monster. And then we got 3 copies of Block Dragon, and then 2 copies of the Gem Armadillo, and then we have 3 copies of Rescue Rabbit, 3 copies of Gem Knight Obsidian, 1 copy of Adamatia Seeker, 2 copies of Crystal Rose, 1 copy of the Adamatia Researcher, 3 copies of Lazuli over here, and then we have 1 Glow Bulb, 3 copies of Unexpected Die, 3 copies of Gem Knight Fusion, 2 copies of pile pop up. There's also 3 copies of Fiend Sanctuary. This card wasn't used in the gameplay, but all it does is give you an extra token, which will be utilized as stepping stones. A lot of times you can go ahead and just use it for your, of course, your link monsters for the extra negation potentially with Appaloosa. But we didn't even have it in the gameplay. If we would have drawn it actually would have been even better, because then we can get an extra negation out. Then we have Adamatia Sign over here, Dark Rock Monster, Graveyard Special Summon it. It's just another like extender here. And then we have Foolish, we got Reborn, World Legacy Inheritor over here, and then this is just for the new Master Rule. For the extra deck, we have Gem Knight Lady Brilliant Diamond, we have the Gem Knight Master Diamond, 2 copies of Zirconia, 1 copy of Seraph Knight. Then we've got our Barkion, Beast, Dingirsu, Appaloosa, Kyrios, which was actually quite great, being able to go ahead and just get an extra effect of Foolish, which can be, of course, your block dragon. And then we got the Christian Hulk, and then 2 copies of Phantom Core, 1 copy of Cloth Sheep, and then 1 Link Spider to round it off. But anyways, that's it for the deck profile. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a like on it. If you're new here, make sure you guys subscribe, turn on that bell so you don't miss out on more cool Yu-Gi-Oh decks like the 2020 Insane Gem Knight Turn 1 board, because again, that's probably one of the best boards you can make in Yu-Gi-Oh, with the exception of like getting all Exodia. It's very, very difficult to beat. You'd have to really follow it up with like a Solemn Judgment. I guess if you really want to, since this card wasn't really shown off, and because you can consistently kind of make this board, I'm just gonna move this out of the way. I mean, if you can follow this up with a Solemn Judgment, like if you make this, it would be very, very difficult for most decks to actually beat out with this type of a board. The only thing is Dark Ruler No More, or of course Nibiru or Winged Dragon or Sphere Mode, which I guess depending on when you go ahead and use it, you can maybe stop one of their effects also. And I think also Instant Fusion could be a great option. Millennium Eyes, Thousand Eyes, which will get you, of course, that extra monster. And then you can go ahead and link Karibo and combo it off with there. But once again, shout out to my boy AzneyesWhitedragon for hooking me up with the plays. I'll leave him down below if you guys want to check him out. And also, if you guys want to send me other replays like the one that you guys saw, because I love seeing what you guys in the community can make. Thanks for tuning in, guys. And if you want to send in a replay, AzneyesReplays@gmail.com, attach the YRP file, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Have a good one. I'm out. Peace.